Hey guys, Monochrome here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Genuinely good to have you. Got a knife review for you today. This is the Condor tool and knife, and I know I'm not pronouncing this correctly, but what the heck. CADEJO folding knife. Now, this is not the regular Condor CADEJO folding knife. This is the CADEJO Cleaver folding knife. Yeah. The regular CADEJO, and again, I know I'm probably pronouncing that horribly wrong, has a, well, Condor calls it a drop point blade. No, it's a single-edged spear point blade. This, as you can see, is a cleaver style blade. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that this is marketed as an outdoor folding knife for use outdoors, out in the woods, out in the forest, that sort of thing. Now, I will say this, the Zytel handle, which is basically slightly advanced polymer plastic. All of you know Zytel if you own a modern day folding knife. It's available in 3 colors: desert tan, black, and army green. Not OD green, army green. And as you can see on video, that definitely looks like an OD green handle. No. I can guarantee you that in real life, that handle is not nearly that shade. It's actually significantly lighter. But for some bizarre reason on my camera, it looks like dark forest green or really dark OD green. No, in real life, these handle scales are significantly lighter in color. So yeah, I chose the army green handle because I have so many black handled knives. I figured, why not? And yeah, I do have desert tan colored knives as well. Not too many. But okay, so this is one of the options. Let's take a look at all of the negatives. Now, some of you looking at the position of the thumb stud, and it is dual thumb studs, as you can see, you're probably thinking, wow, that looks a little low on the blade. It should be a little higher up. Yes, it should be. This is not the sort of thumb stud opening knife that you flick open. I'm sure there's individuals out there who can do it, but the problem is you get so much tension, which is common from a rocker lock knife. This one has the Boyd detent, but you get so much tension from a traditional rocker lock knife that with the thumb stud this low, what happens is when you try to flick it is that your thumb will slip off, and as the blade is opening, it'll slip off down here, and then instinctively, you're going to try to go back up for the thumb stud. See the problem? And like I said, instinctively, yeah, I'd rather not slice my thumb open. Thank you, Condor. So yes, the pairing of a rocker lock with thumb studs mounted too low, that's an issue. Oh, by the way, the blade is not hollow ground. Condor says that's a flat grind with a secondary bevel. Looks like a hollow ground knife to me, but okay. Let's go by what Condor says. Here's another issue. Nothing to do with the mating of a set of thumb studs which are too low on the blade with a traditional rocker lock with its level of tension. On my example, and I admit this is on my example, yours might not suffer from this issue, but on my example, well, there's one minor issue. In the open position, yeah. The back spine of the blade does not line up perfectly or nearly as well as it should, forget perfect, with the front of the lock. Take a look at that. You can see a gap and the rear spine of the blade sits lower. I don't like that. Some people would say, well, that's not too big of a deal, especially on a budget folder. Yeah, I got some bad news. This isn't really a budget folder, but we'll get back to that. I don't like this. You can definitely feel a difference. Now, lockup with a rocker lock doesn't have to be perfect, but the closer these two match up with each other, the better. But okay, if you consider that a minor one, okay, maybe it's a minor one to you. But unfortunately, on my example, even though there's no up and down play at all, which is always a good thing on a folding knife with a lock, always good, no up and down play, on this one, oh yeah, I'm not sure if you can see that, but there is quite a bit of side-to-side play. Look at that. You can see it moving inside the freaking handle. Oh my goodness. You can see it moving. There is quite a bit of side-to-side play on my example. I don't like that. But again, if my choices were side-to-side or up and down, I'll take side-to-side. However, you shouldn't have to deal with that on a modern-day tactical folder with thumb studs, a pocket carry clip, and modern-day handle material like Zytel plastic. You shouldn't have to put up with that. That shouldn't be happening in the manufacturing process, not on a modern-day knife. Okay, Granddad's old-fashioned pocket knife, that's a different story. Granddad's old-fashioned trapper, Granddad's old-fashioned stockman or mini stockman, okay, that's fine. You expect a bit of side-to-side play. You expect that. You shouldn't have to deal with that on a modern-day folding knife with a lock mechanism. I'm sorry, but no, there should not be any freaking side-to-side play that is visible on camera. No, that shouldn't happen. But, okay. Moving on to the last issue. And this looks like an advantage. Not sure if you guys can see that. Hold on. Let me get my pen light. Can you guys see that in there? Yeah. Yeah. You have thin steel liners on the inside of the Zytel plastic handle. Maybe you can see it there. Right there? Yeah. Both sides. Now that sounds like something wonderful. Hey, you get the convenience of Zytel with a nice, good grip. The checkering is real. It's not there for show. It's not nearly as aggressive as it looks on camera, but it's real. Still, I wish it was more aggressive. I wish it was as aggressive as it looked on camera. It's not. But yes, the checkering is real. It's not just there for show. So that's good at least. And you're probably thinking, oh, that's wonderful. So we get the strength of steel liners on the inside of the Zytel handles. So that reduces flex. Yes, it does. It does reduce flex of the handle. However, I can guarantee you that not one freaking executive at Condor, and I like Condor as an overall brand, absolutely love Condor as an overall brand. I own a lot of their knives. I own a lot of items from Condor which are not knives. I mean, overall, I really like the brand. I wouldn't say I'm a diehard fanboy of Condor, but I really like the brand overall. However, not one person at Condor bothered to check a rather somewhat important thing that some of their customers would have appreciated. I'm talking executives, I'm talking quality control experts, bladesmiths. Yeah, no one bothered to check this. When you get the knife, the clip comes mounted here for tip down, right hand carry. This is where it comes mounted. As you can see, there are 3 other additional places where you can mount the clip. Only not really. Because let's face it, the vast majority of people prefer tip up, strong side, or right hand carry. And I'm one of them. So what do I do? Whenever I buy a knife that comes with the clip made for strong side tip down carry, that's right, I always try to reverse it here. Because that way, it's going to be tip up, strong side carry. What did I find when I tried to reverse this freaking clip? Well, it doesn't look like it, but when you try to do that, the clip goes just below the handle scale. Due to the shape of the handle scale, on this end it's fine. On this one, it's not. It looks as though the clip would go straight and wouldn't be an issue. No. The bottom of the clip goes just below the handle scale. Just below it. Really? Really? And you guys at Condor want me to believe that you guys tested it. Hell no, you didn't test it. But some of you might be saying, oh, you're nitpicking. That's a minor thing. That is so minor. Okay. So when you got it securely mounted here, it goes just below. A tiny portion of the clip goes just below the handle scale. That's not that big of a deal. And you'd be right, except for one thing. One thing. You cannot mount the freaking clip securely on this end. I tried. Guess what interferes with it? If you said the steel liner on the inside, well, you win nothing, but you are 1,000% correct. Yeah, some genius over at Condor placed the steel liners in such a way that they get in the way of the mounting screws. Not on this side. On this end, absolutely. So the steel liners, which are supposed to be a huge positive for this knife, are actually a huge negative. Yeah, you got no flex in the handle, but you have a clip that you can't put on this end of the knife. And it's the same problem over here because both sides have steel liners. However, on this end, they did it the right way. On this end, which is how the clip comes with the knife, yeah, no problem. You can securely, if you can see that, God damn it, camera, cooperate. There we go. If you can see that, those screws are down deep. There is no gap. There is no gap at all from, come on, you freaking camera. There is no gap at all from the top of the clip to the very bottom of the screws. No gap at all on any of those three. You try putting that here, no matter how much you tighten it down, and I'm assuming you have the proper screwdriver like I do. No matter how much you mount it down, the screws will not go down all the way. The clip wobbles horribly to the point that this end is useless for mounting a clip, which means this end is also useless for mounting a clip. So if you don't like tip down carry, well, screw you apparently. I guarantee you not one freaking executive or employee at Condor bothered to take the clip off from this end and put it on this end. Not a single one, because it wobbles. The screws cannot be screwed down far enough on this end. The clip wobbles. On this end, it's secure. On this end, it works perfectly well. Not on this one. Great job, Condor. Great job. So you guys just drilled a bunch of mounting holes and never even tested it to see if the screws fit down properly. Wonderful job. This is not the level of, I'm trying to think of the right word. This is not the level of shoddiness that I expect from Condor tool and knife. Actually, I expect 0% shoddiness from Condor tool and knife, and the vast majority of their products that I have purchased have not been shoddy at all. This one, what were they thinking? Let's just drill a bunch of holes and make it look as though you can put the clip a bunch of places. No, you can't. So hope you like tip down carry on your new Condor. Yeah. The handle, Well, if you wear large size gloves, you're getting a 3-finger grip only. Unless you choke up dangerously close to the cutting edge with your index finger. It's still not comfortable, but at least you can get 4 fingers on there. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not the most comfortable position, especially when you know your index finger is that dangerously close to the cutting edge. So, yeah. 3-finger grip if you want to keep your index finger as safe as possible. No jimping on the spine, no jimping on the back, no jimping anywhere. You got checkering on the handle. There's the Condor logo. Yeah. Sharp? Yep, it came sharp from Condor. Yeah. Blade length, just under 3 inches. So that's good. This guy is going to be legal in a lot of places thanks to the blade length coming in at under 3 inches, just under. Guys, specs in the description box below. Check that out when the video is over. What doesn't help, though, is that the width in the closed position is, wow. This is not a comparison video, but here's my Gerber Zilch compared to the Condor, and you can see how incredibly wide the Condor is compared to the Zilch. So this knife actually looks bigger than it actually is, which is not good if you get stopped by the police. But all right, that's mostly a minor thing. Anyway, guys, overall, do I recommend the knife? No, because if it was just one of those cons that I mentioned, I could say, yeah, it's livable, but come on. Everything I've pointed out about this knife, I don't know what Condor was thinking. No, it's too many cons. No, I don't recommend it. If you want basically a folding cleaver, well, there's plenty of brands that actually make one of those, not just Condor. You don't have to settle for this one. So because of all of the cons I mentioned in this video, no, I don't recommend it. You want a folding cleaver? Check out other models from other brands. Guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry, this one gets an avoid. But I'll see you guys soon. Please take care. Please stay safe out there. Yes, it's still dangerous. And yeah, avoid.